Well, hello everyone, and welcome again to Hands Across the Water. It's good to be on a Monday after Rangers win again in the league. It is three league victories in a row for Danny Rohl, or for Danny Rohl, should I say? And it's good to finally, eventually get ourselves into a bit of a position where we're winning games comfortably. Baz, it's been a long time since I would say we've been away from home in the league and won a game and scored early goals and stuff. So that's the positive. We haven't been on since we played Roma. I was on with the Not Another Rangers podcast on Friday night chatting about that game, but we haven't chatted about it here. But we'll try and keep it positive, and we'll talk about our league form a wee bit more than the European form, Baz. But how are you keeping, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Good wee weekend. Monday we have a third win in the league, so that's a positive. We haven't had that all season, so yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And well, finally we can talk a wee bit positively, especially about the league. Maybe not so much Europe, but that's another story, isn't it?
100%. That's just it. But at the end of the day, the league is all that matters to me right now. That's the most important thing. And as I say, I thought we've done pretty well. Uh, First and foremost, Baz, Remembrance Sunday. Where were you? You were in Belfast, I think, weren't you? I was in Lisburn. I think you were in Belfast. It was always very important, isn't it? Especially to us to go out and remember Sunday and remember our fallen heroes.
Oh, absolutely. Right across the United Kingdom, there was stuff done for Remembrance Sunday, including at most of all the football grounds and stuff, and in our own hometown cities, Belfast, Lisburn, etc. And for it doesn't take much to just to remember people and their fallen, and at the end of the day, those men sacrificed themselves so that we could sit here and do what we do. So that's the nature of it, and fair plays to everybody that participated in some shape or form in remembering. So yeah, it was a good weekend to remember.
Yeah, it's very important. Like me and Baz, our grandfather Jack, he fought in World War Two and won the Burma Star and the war medal and stuff. So it is a very important thing for us. And listen, if any is about any grandfathers and stuff who served, if you write them in the comments, we'll put them up as the show goes on. But yeah, it was very important to do that. And Dundee Fair Play, the paper and the band and stuff. So, and they had a couple of ex-military and uh, guys out there as well, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. To be fair, I know there was a wee bit of to and fro and arguments about displays and stuff for the Union Bears and all that. I'm not too sure the whole ins and outs of it, but I'm glad that something got put up from the fans in the end. That's the main thing. So it was nice to see. But now we'll move on to the football. I says the dad buzz at the start of the game for the game and kick off. It was just about to kick off, and I was like, I'm just why do we whenever get early goals, whenever do this, hopefully it'll happen. And we started laughing as if to say, I dead on. And we did. I thought the Rangers started pretty positively, Baz. I don't know what you thought about the team. So we started off with Butland in nets, Tavernier, Suter, Giga, and Aarons. Oh, it wasn't Giga, sorry, it was Cornelius. Oh, I've got the wrong bloody team sheet over, sorry. And sorry, it was Suter and Cornelius and Magoma. Midfield, we had Raskin and Diomande. Maggie Moore, who's been playing well pretty recently, was in the team again. Baz, I thought he played pretty well. We'll mention him. Um, uh, Mioski played. Danilo as well. And Gassama. But it seemed that it could have been sort of like a 4-4-2, Baz, which is the first time we've done that. Mostly it's been five at the back for Rangers, but it seemed to be Mikey Moore was playing more of a right wing stroke number 10 role. He was sort of given a free role to come in and out as he's seen fit, and I think that suits him, to be fair. But what did you think of the start of the game, Baz? Once you first seen the team, were you happy, or was there anyone you were wanting maybe in there for somebody else?
Well, I think it was definitely about time that Shermity got a wee rest there up front. Obviously, Mioski came in, not exactly on a run of form that's that's a very big debatable one between the two of them at the minute, because neither one is actually playing that well, to be fair. So, but I was glad to see us playing with more of a two centre halves and two fullbacks. I don't think we always need to play that back five with the two running wing backs against all teams. I think the likes of Dundee away, there was a more natural setup from the back, and yeah, I was actually quite pleased. At the start of the season when I seen Mickey Moore coming onto the team sheet every week, I was thinking, my goodness, he's not really playing well, and is he going to get any better for us? But he has definitely turned a corner. So I was actually glad to see Mickey Moore on. I think he's probably one of the first names in the team sheets at present time due to form. Obviously, Dio Mandy comes in with Raskin, who played with each other very regular. That was an easy one. Young Connor Barn obviously got a rest, but I think Connor Barn done a lot of running with him on Thursday night. A hell of a lot of running, so the young lad probably needed a rest. So all in, and when you look at the team sheet, I was actually pretty okay with it from the start with him, to be honest.
Yeah, I just getting a wee bit sidetracked there, sorry, because Scotty from the Rangers Journal was looking like I was asked if he wanted to jump on. So we're like,
we'll get him on.
The hands across the water. That's what it's all about. So we'll get Skype send Scotty a wee linker. So and let me see here. This is a very important comment to say. Wallace McLaughlin, good evening, Burrs, and all the people from Hands Across the Water, and respect to all our fallen, and also like myself who served, lest we forget. And thank you, Wallace, for your service, buddy, and thank you very much for putting that comment on here and coming on the show, mate. We appreciate you very much. Thank you, buddy. Let me see. All right, so we'll get Scotty on here. So I'm a wee bit sidetracked there. Sorry for guys and gals who's watching, but yeah, we'll get Scotty on soon and get his views and get an extra voice, which is good.
Did you get the one from the sniper? Sniper put up his grandpa shirt in the war as well.
Sniper, let me see.
It was just before that message.
Oh, let me see. Sniper, thank you. You're going for his service, making on a serve in the world. So we all know the Hands Across the Water. We talk about this Baz as a football thing, obviously, which it is, of course. The Rangers, Scotland, England, Northern Ireland, Wales. Everyone comes from everywhere, all around the world. But also, we served together and times gone by when we were under threat and the world was under threat, and obviously we all came together as we do when times are hard, and we beat them a lot, and we got a world war, to be fair, Baz, when you think about it. Two of them, like number one and World War One and World War Two. It's a lot of terrible things, but people done it back then, and they served, like especially over here in Northern Ireland. You didn't actually have to serve. It was more you volunteered over here, and plenty of people done it. So they've a lot of guts and fair play to them. Right, so we'll move on to the football, Baz. So you were happy enough to say the start was pretty good, mate. Very happy. The goal from Raskin was absolutely fantastic. Now, to be fair, Tavernier, good ball in. Raskin, who's such a small player, if he's left on his own, he can spring up and he can put them in the net. We've seen that a few times, especially against them last season. But what a leap from the wee man. I got a picture of it there, cracker, wasn't it?
It's Ronaldo-esque, isn't it? To be able to leap that high for such a small man is actually quite incredible. It's and the thing about it is, this isn't one-offs. Nico's found the head from set pieces, from a cross. Quite regularly. To be fair, tell him, and I'm so glad for Nico, because he's had a wee bit of bad press recently about his form and about his desire and stuff. And I think yesterday, especially with that goal, really cemented how important Nico Raskin can actually be in that team, because we do sometimes struggle with set pieces and crosses into the boxes, etc. But young Nico seems to pop up now and again, and that's a fantastic. What's that old saying? Well, I'm up like a salmon. It was a fantastic leap. The Dundee fans will probably be a bit apprehensive of why he was left on his own. But we'll not care too much about that. Young Nico leaps, brilliant header, fantastic ball from Tavernier. That's what Tavernier still has in his locker, is a decent ball into the box net again, and it's a fantastic ball.
Yeah, it was, and it sort of set the tone, and that's what me and Dad say. We looked at each other at the time. We're like, "Fuck me!" There was us saying we'd never get these early goals, and we got one. We're happy with it. Like, and as I say, you know, leaving Nico on his own is a silly thing to do, and as the Sniper said, it's happened a few times. A few teams have not marked, probably not seeing him as a threat, But you think if you looked into that one, you'd be thinking he's actually, when it comes to Rangers and their threats from corners, believe it or not, he is actually one of the ones that you're really worrying about in there.
Absolutely, it's mind-boggling that Dundee didn't do their homework and Nico Roskin from a cross into the box. I mean, he's the most dangerous header of the ball we have. And in terms of conversion rate of strikes with a head on goal, Nico Roskin must be ahead of everybody for that. So, if it was a Dundee fan, I would have been a bit baffled about that, as I said. But for us, it worked 100%. Nico leaps, brilliant header. It really is a good header. And as I said earlier, very pleased for Nico to get that.
Yeah. Just a quick another one as well. Aaron Anders, that have been here since week 1 on the Heart and Hand Network, lads. Great to see the channel continue to grow. Appreciate that, mate. As I say, there's been a few who's been there from day one, and we're a bit naive at the start, Baz. We didn't know it was all new to us, all this podcast and stuff. But the wee show's doing well, and as I say, the Facebook and all is doing well, and we've got up to getting our wee memberships, and also if anyone wants to become a member, you can for as little as 99p. Join the channel as a member if any of you would like to do that. You're more than welcome. But we've got Scotty on here last minute. Let me see, where is he? Hold on, I'll take this off. Scotty, how are you keeping, mate? I was a late one. I was glad to have you on, buddy.
Evening, Bells. I'm usually in a gym or something on a Monday night at this time. Matthew, away, But... Jesus. What a start, eh? What a start. I am usually in a gym or something on Monday night at 6 o'clock if I'm waiting on the wife coming in for work or something, but she came in early every night, so I thought I'd give you a message and see if I could jump on. How are you? All right?
We're all good, buddy. It's great to have you on, mate.
Good man, Scotty. Good to see you, buddy.
Oh, thanks for carving us, lads.
No problem. Scotty, we're just talking about we'll go through it the same, because I say we haven't went that far into the game. So just first of all, I was asking Baz, what did you think of the team when you first seen the starting 11? Were you happy enough with it?
Happy enough with it, aye. Giga wasn't playing, so I was pretty content with that. I think Cornelius and Suter are the best of a bad bunch just now, to be honest with you. I think Cornelius is more than my number one centre-back. Suter, I just let his contract run down. I think there's better out there for better money.
Aye.
Magoma and Tav is what you'd expect, and midfield, Diamande Raskin. Moore is coming on to a game. Boy's coming on to a game.
Yeah.
So he is. I felt really, really bad for Majowski. We're not getting that boy any service whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. Like, the chances we created for him yesterday in that 45 minutes we never created anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is where he's best, and it's between the sticks, and we've not supplied him so far. I've got my own opinion as to whether he's a good signing or not, but I think the service, we can't really judge him, if that makes any sense. You can judge Shamiti and you can judge Danilo, but Majowski, I think, has been hung out to dry a wee bit, to be honest with these boys. I'm not too happy with how the team's played for Majowski. I don't think they're using his strengths at all.
Yeah, I agree with that, mate. You see where he played for Aberdeen and stuff, and we don't see him, and he hasn't even. It's not as if he's been whipped off a lot at half time and stuff with quite a few games. So it's not even as if he's had a consistent run in the team. Scott, is there? Did he actually get himself a few goals in the and he will. It'll come good for him, as you say, if he's used right. And but I think it's a wee bit too much chop and change. And then he's only been here how many weeks? He's already playing under 2 different managers, 2 different systems. It's all a bit mad, isn't it?
Yep, sure is, Paul.
So we started off there. I was asking Baz, we're just chatting about Racing, the goal. We only got up to the first goal there. What do you think of Racing? He's a danger in that box. We're just saying we can't understand how likes of Dundee didn't clink on to that bit, because he's probably one of the danger men in our back, which is crazy for his height.
That me, William, I.
Yeah.
I don't know how he could stay in the air that long. See when he's getting up, he's got some spring on him, and then he just doesn't seem to want to get back down. He's making a name for himself scoring for corners, we were asking. I'm glad to see him get his goal because he's been another one that's been a wee bit underwhelming this season. I think the squad as a whole but I think the instructions and stuff were overcomplicated by Russell Martin, and that's how it just didn't work. I think he was trying to be too fancy, to be honest. And Raskin suffered for it. Obviously, the fallout and stuff and whatever happened there today, but I'm glad to see him get his goal, and he looked a bit better against Celtic in the cup semi-final today, boys. You know what I mean? He looked like Nico we all know and love, but he got whipped off at full time. So there's wee bits going on in the background with Raskin. I don't know what it is, but glad to see him get his goal, and even better, score for a corner. You know what I mean? That's always a bonus, scoring for corners, because we don't do it enough.
We don't, mate. It's true. We don't. But it was good to see they get. As I said to my dad, mate, I was like, just before they kicked off, I was like, I just hope we score early. We will never score early. We never take this and kill off games. We're always in a mad fight. But then we got another goal, mate. 2-0 up. A lovely wee finish by Mikey Moore, and as you said there, he's coming. I'll ask you, Baz, after. We'll start with Scotty here, just because he's only on. But that was a lovely wee finish, mate, and he's definitely under Danny Rohl has improved from right from the off, mate. It's as if he's being used properly this time, you know.
It's almost as if he's got a free roll in the team, innit? Just you float about, do what you want, carry the ball for deep, turn up wide, turn up the middle, get your shots away. There's definitely a player in there now. I'm a lot happier with Mikey Moore because I wasn't one for loading up our team's players and that, especially like the likes of Spurs. I mean, we've got Finlay Curtis there. It's a never-ending argument between Finlay Curtis and Mikey Moore. It's become a bit of an argument because we're not developing our own play. But I'm glad to see Moore's turning into a bit of a game changer for us. It's about time that one of these signings kind of stood up and took the games by the scruff of the neck, and a young guy seems to be doing it, to be fair to him, you know what I mean? He has a good talent that Tottenham have got.
100%. The Ironbury Burr, thank you very much, mate, for coming a member. Really, really appreciate that. Cheers, buddy. What did you think, Baz? Because as I say, we were chatting about Mikey Moore before we know at the start and thinking, there's no point saying these young players if they can't perform and stuff, and because you're waiting them to develop and you're developing someone else's player. But credit where it's due as well, mate. You know, he's definitely come on the game, and Danny Rose seems to know where to play his best position, and that maybe that goal will just be the thing now to give him the springboard.
Well, it has. You can see the confidence in the young fella, can't you? I mean, after the match, he's doing a press conference at 18 years of age. Regardless of what team he's came from, he's only 18. You know, he's a young pup. And, I put a post up earlier on X, and I was basically saying, even with all the tribulations he's had and the sort of stick he's had, he's worked hard, he's kept his head down, and he's just kept going. And he's waited for that moment where he can flourish. And Danny Rohl, obviously, we're talking there, Scotty, about the free role. When he was playing, when Russell Martin had him, he seemed to be stuck in one area. But he looks like the shackles have been taken off his ankles, and he's allowed to play on one side. He's allowed to come into the midfield. He's allowed to go to the other side. And I think that really helps him. You can definitely see a very confident young man playing now. The debate on Curtis is that's a huge one. Because as well as Mikey Moore may play the rest of the season, young Curtis's development is getting hung out to dry at the minute. And the only issue that I have is, and I hope Mikey Moore has a fantastic season with us, and I hope he plays really well. But the reality with Mikey Moore is next season he's going to be at Spurs, and Finlay Curtis is still going to be with us. So that's my only problem with that, with the whole debate on Curtis and Mikey Moore. You know, I think at the minute we need wins. We need to have a bit of momentum, and Mikey Moore's providing that. I do worry about Curtis and where we end up with him, Scotty. It just feels like it could be another player down the line that ends up leaving, and we don't really get the best out of it.
He needs a loan. Look at what we've done to Bailey Rice. He needs a loan. He badly needs a loan. Put him out somewhere that's going to take him and give him first team football. Let him earn his stripes elsewhere, and then he can come back and see how he is in pre-season. But a youth system's something that really, really annoys me at Rangers. I look at what we've done to Bailey Rice and all the hype and stuff around about him. Fine, I've probably criticised Bailey to an extent because I don't actually know what he offers, but it's because we've not seen him. You know what I mean? I think in the game against Alloa in the Cup at Ibrox, when he played left back, I think he get fun out for what he is. He's not running. Clement says it. He needs to work off the ball. Martin said that there's a few managers that says the same thing about Bailey Rice. But in terms of Finlay Curtis, you need to give a boy alone. It's not fair just to keep him for the sake of warming the bench. Even like yesterday, lads, like we should have brought him on the second half. Why not give the boy a second half? The game was won. Do you know what I mean? But Ant-Man gets on, etc. It's poor. It's poor treating the boys like that. Because I believe he is good enough, Finlay Curtis. He's shown it already. He's a good player.
He's as many goals this season as Shermity does. Do you know what I mean? Which is crazy when you think about it. Like, and he's took his chances. But I agree. If you made, why not stick him on? Because we made a few changes early in the second, or at the second half, obviously, because the game was 2-0 up, and obviously Danny Rose putting different players in, and he was speaking to them on the pitch at half time and stuff. And obviously, he's still trying to find his best position and stuff and the best players. But you're sitting looking at like the Asgard and stuff and that man coming on, and I'm thinking, like you just said there, Scotty, like young fella could offer you a lot more. It's especially a bit of running. Seems to be some players just they don't put it in. I thought I'm not saying we were poor a second half, but I just didn't think we lost all that momentum. I don't know if you thought to see him.
Aye, 100%. We can't keep as I say, lads. We can't keep treating the young boys like that. Curtis actually I think scored more than Chummy because he get Panther night goal scores and not scored an ours, 2 or 3 goals.
I think he scored one in the League Cup as well, didn't he?
I think so.
I think. So he's got about 3 times the goals this year, maybe.
That Shermitty's had the last 3 years.
3 years, absolutely crazy. Like, but even like to the Beatley Race and stuff, and even I thought about was it Rafe Rovers we have that agreement with, and would that not have been a good place maybe to set them like them boys and let them sort of learn their trade down there, rather than warming the bench and I don't not even being involved in squads and all that stuff. It's we're ruining these players, aren't we?
Aye, definitely, 100%. I think Finlay Curtis was linked to Kilmarnock in the summer. Under Stuart Kettlewell, it would have been a really good move for him. Stuart Kettlewell is a good coach. I think he would have enhanced his development going to a club like Kelly. Wraith Rovers, they're at top end of a championship, so they're. But it's almost as if we've put this staff loan pyramid in place and we've decided in the summer we're just not using it because I think there's only about a handful of players out on loan. Whereas when Coppin was here, he sent Fraser out in January and look at Robbie Fraser now, he's moved to Dunfermline, he's playing every week and whatever else. Mason Munn, he's away to Dunfermline as well actually. But there's not as much usage as what there should be. It's quite it's quite poor. We cover the youth games. We got access to it, and it's the B teams, the under 19 team now. There's such and we're getting pumped constantly because the B team's away, if that makes any sense, and this is how these boys are learning. Fine, I probably agree with doing a baby B team, but where's Paul and Seal? Did he go? He's away to Wraith, isn't he? He's one that went. He's one that went on loan to Wraith Rovers. Yeah. But there's other players mixed in among that for last season that should have got a loan. Look at Archie Stevens. He's away to Arsenal. He signed a deal at Arsenal after a trial. What the fuck? They can't get any Rangers team. What the fuck's going on? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we have a weird mindset and Rangers, don't we? Like it's like, fuck, they'll even look at a player at 21. They'll be like, he's still young. You're going, fuck, good hell. See if that was English Premier League or anywhere else. We've seen players even at Barcelona at 16, 17, 18. If you're good enough, you get a chance. Do you know what I mean? And it's a problem we have, Baz, isn't it? We'll still look at players at 21 sometimes, but like, he's only a child. Like Fraser. What age is Fraser now? I think he's 21, is he not? And we were still looking at him, even like he's still young, and you're going, this is where he should be as sort of prime, As I say, it's just something we need to sort out quick because it'll help us having to spend all this money all the time, Baz, wouldn't it?
It's the same thing. It's happened for years now, and it's nothing new. We've seen all these players come and go. There's young Laurie was meant to be the next big thing at Rangers, goes in alone, comes back. Although his attitude probably wasn't just as good, to be fair. And but it's something they really, really need to look at, because at the end of the day, we're playing Scottish football, but regardless of whether we have billionaire owners or not, we can only spend so much money. You know what I mean? We can't, we can't delve into the market every single time just to get players. So sometimes you need to blood them through, and especially the young Scottish boys, because we still have to have our quota of Scottish registered players as well. With Rangers, we've brought Barn in, we've brought Cameron in, etc. But it'd just be nice to see one of our own homegrown players coming through right through the system and breaking into that first team and becoming a future star, like Barry Ferguson. That's what you're sort of looking at, that next Barry Ferguson. And unfortunately, at the minute, we talked about Bailey Rice. Bailey Rice is in no man's land right now. First of all, he's when he's in the youth setup, he's regarded as being bigger than Miller, and look where his career is, and look where Bailey Rice's is. So that's and we caused that with Bailey Rice. As a football club, we have done that to Bailey Rice ourselves.
I'd like to Bailey Rice, so Scotty, would it not have made sense at the time when we were taking him and just say, right, okay, you know what we'll do? We'll take him here, we'll agree a deal with you, whatever. Just give him back for a couple of, even 2 seasons. Say, but here, listen, you've done well from whatever you're doing. Keep out. Rather than us just taking him and never letting him play again, while young Miller goes and his career, I could go anywhere now because he's, he's a cracking young talent, and but we just ruin these. It's so frustrating, isn't it? It's let even make the deal and just say, listen, okay, there's another season, stick there out a couple more years. Learn your trade, but look, you're our player. We've got you in a 4-year, 5-year deal, whatever it is.
I think there was talk about him going back to Motherwell in the summer or winter, considering the style of play the manager plays over at Motherwell and the style of play we were trying to adopt at the beginning of the season. It would have made sense to put him on loan at Motherwell, but there was something to do with contract talks or something. They wanted him to sign an extension before he left. So even still, if he's not going to sign an extension, what difference does that make? Still put the boy out on loan, get his wages covered, because you're not fucking playing him now. You know what I mean?
True. Exactly. Where's Frankie talks? Let me see. Frankie's it only occurs in the Gabber. Don't see eye to eye. I got told that from a complete trusted source that lads, flip. I flip me. There you go. Then so Frankie has an inside scooper for you. It's so we'll see. As I say, what happens as time goes on for Finlay Curtis. But I still think just from what I've seen, he looks like he's the best finisher at the club. But it's all about getting the minutes on the pitch and seeing how it goes. But listen, the game sort of petered a second half, as I say, we made changes. We weren't, it's Dundee started coming into it a wee bit. They made tactical changes as well, but we never looked really under threat too much. We got the loss of Gassama. It's a trademark for now for him when he does there, turn on that right foot, absolute cracker in the far corner. He's done that a few times now. For young fella, letting him on that side of his foot, I couldn't believe, because I was surprised Dundee didn't show him to the left, because they know, again, they mustn't have done their homework too well, because if you let him turn that right foot, we've seen the dangers. But what do you think overall, Scotty? A 3-0 win. Look, it's 3 wins in a row for Danny Rohl, and it's been a long time since we've been able to sit here and talk about three league domestic league games winning in a row. We could now go on to hopefully 4 and 5. If you look at the fixtures, it's there for us just to get a wee bit of a run going proper here.
Oh, it's definitely there for us. I think as long as we can stay in touch with Celtic, I think eventually you can see Hearts are starting to wobble a wee bit now. Starting to drop points here and there. Yesterday against Dundee United at home, if you're going to win a league, you need to bury it. You can't drop points. Dundee United could have won it, actually. They got a goal disallowed. So you can see two, right?
Because two different. Just one was just offside. And I think they were both offside. One was more blatant than the other. But right. Yeah, Dundee United were actually the better team. Going by the highlights anyway.
Aye, definitely. You can see it's just starting to crack a wee bit. So as long as we keep in touch with that mob, then I think we'll be all right, and I think we'll come a title race. It's weird though. Yesterday I turned around to my pal boys and I said, "This feels like an end of season game. No, that way, like the league's over. There's nothing to play for. You're just ticking off the matches." That's the way it felt to me yesterday. It felt a wee bit flat, like watching it. I don't know where it kind of came from. Like, there wasn't much in terms of atmosphere in a run either. When the goals were scored, it was just a kind of small cheering. I think that's the way it's going to be for the next couple of months, because the next couple of months is just all about grafting. It's all about grafting, turning out these wins until we're in a position, until we can start getting a wee bit hopeful about something again. Because we've had the shit kicked out his left, right and centre every time. Do you know what I mean? Anywhere we've turned. There's just been letdown after letdown for Rangers as a club. That's including the team. So the next couple of months is just all about getting our head down and beating what's in front of us, and hopefully churning out, cutting the gap to Celtic a wee bit more. Get to January 3rd and then go to Parkhead, hopefully 2 or 3 points in it. Do you know what I mean? So that we can then, hopefully we've got a style of play in place by then as well, because I know Danny Rohl's just winning ugly just now. That's exactly what he should be doing. He's a pragmatic manager. I feel as if we're in good hands under him. I feel as if he's come in and he's done the basics. You know, we were managed after come on to basics, but we're never getting done properly. The same with Ferguson to a certain degree, but it's good. It feels all right. Our structure off the ball is superb. Players are working really, really hard. There seems to be that unity kind of starting to develop, and the synergies, come on, called it last year, a couple of years ago, is slowly beginning to creep back in now between the players and the fans and the manager. But just now, it's just all about chalking up the wins, getting the 3 points on the board, and undoing the damage of Egan done.
But you know what I think it is too, Scotty, and I'll say this to you, Baz, as well. Like Scotty says, there was a bit of a somber match. It wasn't, but I think it's because we're so used to madness. Every game we play, if it's away to Dundee, if we have to win, it's like you have to be 2-0 down or 1-0, you know, and it's always crazy the whole match trying to get the run of the mill 3-0 wins where you just go out and win. You know, your bread and butter games. We haven't seen to do that for a long, long time, you know. And I think it's always, as Rangers fans, we're always used to mental matches. It's all, you know, because we concede all the time. You know, I think what was it, 24 away games or something. Scotty, you can confirm. I think it was something like, I was a record anyway. We hadn't went without conceding a goal away from home, but now we've done it 2 in a row with obviously away to Easter Road and Dundee. So that's something that Danny Rohl's obviously been looking into and thinking, how do we be hard to beat first, and then worry about where we're doing forward lines. But then it was as Scotty said earlier, Baz too, you know, like this year, maybe we've seen Danilo and stuff. They're not getting loads and loads of, you know, options for themselves, you know, to really put a lot of shots on target and stuff. And yesterday was the same as well. You know, yes, 3-0 win, you look at it, was good, but we're still definitely lacking and getting our forward players into the game more. And it's something we need to sort out. But if you're not conceding, at least it gives you a chance, doesn't it?
Well, that's it. I mean, he's basically said at the start, we'll have to win ugly to get the points on the board, and the performances levels will rise throughout the season, so that, you know, what he said from the start is coming to fruition. I mean, a bit somber. I mean, we took a bit of a, you know, if you look at the game in Europe, that was a bad game for us. You know, I think when we're seeing how poor the quality levels that we've brought in, when you look at how we played Roma, it's very difficult to pick yourself up away to Dundee on the weekend. You know, so I would say there's an element in that. You know, so but it's all about getting the 3 points in the league now. You know, there is a chance of rescuing this. Hearts have had a bit of a wobble, absolutely, and they will continue to have more throughout the season. But we've got to make sure that them 3 wins turn into, you know, the 5 and the 6s and the 7s and the 8s. It's the only way, Scotty, we're going to have a proper title challenge, because them across the city, they'll have the odd wobble, but they won't go on a run of wobbles. They'll consistently get 3 points themselves. So we've got to keep the pace with them. European football is probably going to be a slight hindrance right now. You know, considering where we are in that league table, having to play some of these games is really not what we need at this moment in time. A couple of pounds, Scotty, for getting a few points, yes, by all means. But the league, Barry Ferguson, the main thing Barry Ferguson says, and I know he was trying to get the job, but he says the Scottish League's the bread and butter. That's where that's where you've got to get everything's going from the start. And I think Danny Rohl recognises that. But what I would say about Danny Rohl is, in these games, yes, we're winning ugly, but tactically, he's setting the teams up really well to play these teams. And it looks like to me he's doing his homework, which previous managers didn't do. The likes of Clement, the likes of Russell Martin, they didn't look at Dundee's and the Hibs away from homes and work out a system of how to beat them. Danny Rohl, in the short space and time that he's had, he looks like he is doing that, and he's doing his homework, and he's trying to work a best system against a certain particular side. That's why you see different formations and you see different players playing slightly different roles. And for me, that's a real positive.
Aye, 100%, but I can't disagree with any of that. Couple of things, like, I look at when Celtic sacked Rodgers. I remember the first time Rodgers buggered off and he went to Leicester, I was in the car and just a smile came across my face. I was like so chuffed, so relieved that he was going. This time when he left, I was like, oh shit, right? So they can pick up. And what Celtic done is they brought Martin O'Neill in. Now Martin O'Neill's football's dated, but Scottish football's also dated. Scottish football hasn't changed in the 25 years Martin O'Neill's been away. So his tactics will still work in this league. 100%. So there's that. In terms of, like, you're talking about pressing and stuff there, see with Big Shamiti, I think if you can teach him, you could have a proper pressing monster here. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you teach him where to go, what areas to go to, when to run, when no, get all that kind of thing first. Let the big man build his reputation, run good work rate, and then hopefully his other qualities will kind of shine through. I really, really want Jimmy to do well because he's got a $8 million price tag slapped on his head, and it's not his fault. It's genuinely not his fault. But he needs taught. He's a young boy, you know what I mean? He needs taught where to go, when to go, all that type of stuff. And I do believe it'll come good eventually. I don't think it's going to be a season, but it will come good eventually. I think a loan move wouldn't be a bad thing for him, if I'm being brutally honest. Let him go somewhere and get some games under his belt. He needs 25, 30 matches. He needs to be playing every week to get that first team exposure that he needs to, in order for him to develop. But that's what I would probably do at the minute in terms of Shamiti. Off the ball, you can see that we are well-drilled. We're a well-drilled team. It's almost as if there's been a slight arrogance for previous managers walking into this league that they just think that they can turn up and win. You know, you kind of got that idea for Clement, Russell Martin. Definitely Russell Martin didn't do anything on opponents. It was all about his team and how he wanted to play. Danny Rohl came in and figured Scottish football out very quickly. I mean, see, once you get in top of Scottish football, it's really, really not hard to win games in it because it's a pish league, let's be honest. So
that's it. Like, it's just about, as you say, mate, you know, how many times have we, say, had 70, but we could speak of this for the last 3 years, we've had 72% possession or whatever it is, and maybe Motherwell have 2 chances and they'll score because we're so, as you say, we're not worrying about defence. We're like, no, as long as we have the ball for 72%, someone will do something. There'll be a bit of individual brilliance somewhere, and that'll be enough to win us the game. And that never works. And I'm glad to see Danny Rohl, you know, when, as you say, mate, there's just someone who's come in and go, right, let's worry about what are we doing in our defence. Yes, we're Rangers, we should be winning, but we're conceding a lot. And we, you know, so how do we sort that out and then worry then about getting goals forward? And it looks as if, like, it hasn't been crazy matches in the league, you know, where there's been chances galore. Since Danny Rohl's come in, there hasn't been chances galore from these teams, which always seems to happen against us, you know. And it seems that, as you say, mate, he structured the team off the ball to work hard and not treat these teams, you know, yeah, well, they're not great, but you also have to show them a bit of respect and go to they hurt us because they have been doing it constantly, you know. But what did you think of the comments? It's a wee bit off script here, but I've seen a few comments from Chris Boyd giving Danny Rohl, you know, he shouldn't be on the pitch afterwards and stuff. And I think he was saying about him in this second, or the first half, sorry, when he was doing the subs and he came on, he was talking to players on the pitch. And then obviously afterwards when he was cheering with the fans and celebrating, and Chris Boyd's giving a wee bit of stick with that. Baz, I don't know, Scotty, I'll ask you after, maybe you can answer after. What do you think of that? You know, should Danny Rohl be doing that, or is it not about just, like, he's, as Scotty said, it's just that synergy with the fans and the fans seem to love him, mate, you know what I mean? So I don't think he done anything wrong there, but Chris Boyd thinks he maybe should just went down the tunnel and not be doing the celebrating, you know.
I think there's a slight difference. There was a comparison done when Clement done it against St Johnson, and he ran over to the fans, and we weren't even in a final, and everybody was celebrating like we're in a final. I think there's a massive difference with Danny Rohl. Danny Rohl also done this with Sheffield Wednesday. This isn't something that Danny Rohl's not immune. He has done this before at a previous club. I think what Danny Rohl's trying to do is there's a major disconnect between the fans and certainly with Thilwell and Patrick Stewart at the minute. I possibly think that Danny Rohl's just trying to gel something there with the fans and the management team. That's all I think it is. Because there's been a lot of negativity recently, and there will be negativity with Thilwell and Stewart with recent signings. And I don't see a major problem with Danny Rohl trying to embrace the support and trying to just get everybody on side working together. I don't really see the problem in that. I don't think it's we've beat Dundee with 3 games in a row we're going to win the league type of a celebration. I just think it's like we appreciate the fans, we appreciate the effort that they do, that they travel, and that's all it's about. So I actually take my hat off to Danny Rohl and say fair play, because nobody in the boards try to do that with the fans. Even the owners haven't really worked out the fans. And Danny Rohl, in a short space of time, has got the fans instantly. He gets what Rangers is about. And yeah, fair play to him.
I don't know what you think about that, Scotty. As I say, it's like I just say Boyd he just doesn't take you know what he's like. I got Chrissy, but do love him, like Chrissy Boyd, but I mean, it was just a weird one. I was like, that's a weird thing to go after, because we just have had such a shit season as we know, mate, and it's been down the dumps, and the supports were bouncing. And I loved seeing Danny Rohl coming over, and obviously he's celebrating with the fans and just getting everybody pumped up and say, right, we're together. I didn't see too much wrong with that, like.
No, I know. No, there's nothing wrong with it. Danny Rohl's laying foundations. That's what he's doing. He's laying foundations just now. Mm-hmm. He's putting the basics in. He's trying to build something. Chris Boyd needs to keep his opinion, his sell on it, and just let it all play out. I know he's paid to give his opinion, but on something as petty as that is petty to me. I remember Jurgen Klopp doing it when he first went to Liverpool. Liverpool got a draw off West Brom at Anfield, and Klopp took the players over to Copend and done what he used to do at Dortmund. And then 3 years later, he's winning Champions League and league titles. So must work. Do you know what I mean? It's got to work somewhere. But it's a non-starter for me. If Danny Rohl's trying to build a relationship and a synergy between the fans and the club and the players, then I'm all for it. Because I want to see a winning Rangers team on the park and a confident Rangers team. Our squad's been heavily criticised at the beginning of the season. They didn't have the mentality, guff that Russell Martin came away with. But now we're going away and we're sweeping Dundee away as if it was nothing yesterday. Dundee didn't really threaten at all. Jack Butland into a quiet afternoon. And that's the way Rangers should play against these teams. It should be a quiet afternoon. Yeah. It should be. No, it wasn't a free-flowing attacking football, but it was more upbeat. It was better. Do you know what I mean? It was much better. You can see whatever Danny Rohl's doing is working. And now he's got 12 days or something on a training pitch with the ones that are on the international duty. So that's even better again.
And what do you think, Scotty? Because obviously you haven't been on with us, mates, and Thilwell was asked about the Thilwell situation. What's your thoughts on everything that's been going on there, mate? As I say, I know it's a lot of the fans, especially in the European game. Roma was banners and stuff, and the fans just aren't too impressed. But what do you think with the Thilwell situation and the recruitment situation?
I'm not as angry at Patrick Stewart as what I'm at Kevin Thilwell. I think Kevin Thilwell's a bit arrogant. If you know what I mean, I think he thinks he's better than what he actually is. In that whole director of football role, I think the best guy we had was Mark Garland when he was here. Brought in Alexa Kamara and Wilde found, and then we get Ross Wilson in, who wasn't as good as Mark Garland in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. The whole situation is a bit stinking, to be honest with you, boys. It's not good. Thilwell's getting his son a job, and now there's another one coming in, David Tarrison from Man United for head of football operations. What's Thilwell doing in? If he's a sporting director, what do we need a head of football operations for? Is that not Thilwell's job? So I'm a bit confused. It seems to be a job for boys, is the culture that's being created at Rangers. We've called it out in the journal hundreds of times. I don't know how many times we've done a whole pod dedicated to slagging Patrick Stewart off a Kevin Thelwell. But if they bring a league title home, then they'll get praised. They'll get the same amount of praise as much criticism. It's a two-way street. But I can't. The signings are. I mean, we've got a scouting department over at Journal, and we try and look at all sorts of different players and do videos. And like, I think we're recording a Bundesliga 2 video soon because Danny Rohl signed a couple of players for Sheffield Wednesday for Bundesliga 2. So that was one I wanted to look at. But I'm like, is there any point in us actually doing this? Because are we just going to get into a championship again? Do you know what I mean?
I know.
It's murder. Like Thello Asgard. What does he actually offer to a football team apart from a back heel? I've not seen him do anything else apart from a back heel. I think he pegged somebody with a back heel once, and that was it. I'm genuinely not impressed with the guy at all. 6'2", and he needs to use his frame. He needs to use it a lot better than what he does. You could pick holes with all the signings. The only good ones for me have been Cornelius and Kasama. The rest of them are all don't even know where to start, to be honest with you, man. It's grim. It's probably the nicest way to put it. And it all lands at Kevin Thelwell's door. And then it lands at Patrick Stewart's door because he's the one that's gives Thelwell a job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not good. It's not good, but we just need to hope for the best.
Well, I'm looking at here just at the next 2 fixtures we've got for the league. Hopefully, if we're going to try and keep this going, we've got Libby and Falkirk both with Ibrox, our next 2 league games. And that's really, if what a chance there, Baz, to get the five games in a row and really get things going, because you couldn't ask for 2 better teams and coming to Ibrox in the league. To just keep this pressure on, and as Scotty said earlier, the Hearts continue to wobble. And we look after them not across the city. We're only 5 points difference. But from being, if you had said that even 4 weeks, if we had a dared on this podcast 4 weeks ago, or same as yourself, Scotty, on your Rangers Journal, if you had even dared to say, look, it's not over yet, you'd have been slagged to death. People have been going, are you nuts? But if you win those 2 games, you keep building things. There's no reason why we can't get ourselves into this title fight proper.
We're now playing on it's the next game, and that's the way Danny Rohl looks at it. Yes, we'll look at Livingston, we'll look at Falkirk. He'll just be looking at the first game. He won't even be thinking about the second game. He's now got his mindset in. What's my next game? How am I tactically going to prepare for this game and get the 3 points? Then as soon as that game's over, he's on to the next one. And that's the way, as fans, we're going to have to look at it as well, because at the start of the season, we thought the first few games were fantastic, weren't they? They were, when we seen the first, we thought, here's really good points for us. We slipped up badly under a different coach, of course, and a different mindset of a coach. So, yes, I think Danny's doing the right thing. We'll look at it. They're 2 very winnable games, and we should be getting the 6 points. But it's just the way things are, the way you feel, the way things have been all season. Your main focus is just the next game, getting those points, getting the momentum, then hitting the next game. But for 3 wins in a row and to have 2 games at Ibrox against those particular teams, I mean, if we don't win them, we'll definitely, there'll be no title challenge. If we do win them, I really do feel that momentum can shift us onto something good. We've mentioned earlier on about Hearts. Hearts will wobble. And then it'll probably come down to the Old Firm games the rest of the season, where we can maybe swing the tide a wee bit. But yeah, 2 cracking games for us. And I'd say, to be honest with you, those sort of games now, I've got the mindset with Danny in the Scottish League. I actually feel confident going into them that we'll play a half decent bit of football and we can actually go and execute the plan. And the players look like they're fully on board with it too.
Yeah, the likes of Max Aarons or Scotty, even him, even though. When his interview, he was like, "Look, I'm really excited by what the manager's bringing here, and for what he's bringing in training. If he just gets a bit of time, and I suppose it didn't look to me that Russell Martin ever had that with the players. It was all disconnect right from the beginning. But I think if you can get everyone together in the dressing room and at least if we can get the January with as little damage as possible, and we get the right players in, as you say. Hopefully Fairwell doesn't go back into the Champions League, the likes of Bundesliga 2. We've seen your man Braga. Was it a few players Hearts have bought from the likes of even the Serie A or Serie B? and they're good. You know what I mean? It's. But I don't know why we always think you have to go to this English Championship. We've seen it even under Mark Warburton and stuff. Yes, it done as well in the Scottish Championship, but when it came to the league, I don't even think we got there. It was third position all you're reading it because they're not good enough, you know. But and there's no money in it for me, you know what I mean? It's very, very few times that you'll go and get players that, you know, on the wages and stuff they're on and for them to come on and give you something. But Danny Rohl's situation, mate, I think he's definitely got a bond there with the players. And if you've got the likes of Max Aarons and stuff, you know, players who've been under good coaches before and they're saying they're excited, you know, it sort of tells you something maybe good could be happening for us this season.
Could be, aye. Could be. I'm just sitting here looking at the signings we've made. So Magoma to me was a Martin signing because he put him at Southampton, I think, before he signed for Brentford. Cornelius probably a Thelwell signing. Max Aarons, Russell Martin signing. Giga, don't know. Mikey Moore, don't know. I'd need to assume they're both Kevin Thelwell. Nils Coppin signed Lyle Cameron. Martin signed Rothwell. Gassama, I don't know. Emmanuel Fernandez, based in one performance against Everton, we shelled out £2.9 million on him. Majowski would have been a Russell Martin signing because he wanted him at Southampton before he went to Girona. Thelo Asgard, God knows. Oscar Cortes, mind him. Oliver Antman and Yusuf Shamiti. It's Hochin. It's absolutely Hochin, every single one of them, apart from Lyle Cameron. But hey, I think there is a makings of a squad there. Like, I've said this for months, lads. Let's see if you look at Ant-Man, right? 17 assists last season for Go Ahead Eagles in the Dutch League. And we've got a big 6'4" monster up front. It's common sense. Gabe out to Ant-Man and let him swing it in the box. Let him stick it in Shamiti's head. Do you know what I mean? It's easy done how you can score one of these goal things. But Max Aarons has been a bit disappointing. He's not been great, has he? He's not. He was supposed to come in and take over for Tav, and Tav's probably been our best player this season. If I'm being honest, I think I've been really impressed with James Tavernier this year. He's finally grew in to be a Rangers captaincy. Like his post-match pressers and stuff, he's not coming away with all this disappointed part or anywhere. It's all really, no, we're not good enough. I'm soon telling him. He seems to have really, really stepped up and filled the jersey this year with some of the stuff he's said in the press and on the park. I mean, that performance against Celtic when we're down to 10 men, he's getting the ball in the midway park and he's turned into Fernando Rickson 2.0. Like, it was outstanding that second half against Celtic. And this guy's 34-year-old and we can't seem to replace a £250,000 fullback for Wigan. You know what I mean? That's the kind of...
That's true.
It's wild. It's absolutely wild. We're probably going to do a pod on do you get to have another year? I think there's a discussion there because what he's done so far this season is definitely he's better than what he was last season, the season before, because that was two really, really bad seasons for Tav. But he's definitely upped his game, so to speak. He's definitely upped his game this season. But interesting, like you say, beat Falkirk and beat Livingston, and that's 5 wins in the league. We'll probably cut the gap somewhere, whether it's Celtic or Hearts. If we win them 2 matches, you never know. You never know. Europe, just don't finish bottom. Don't humiliate us by finish bottom. Do not finish bottom of the Europa League, because that's the biggest ridder you could probably get in football. Is finishing bottom.
I don't want that.
We need.
I think we need 3 points, don't we? We need 3. We need 3. I think if we don't get at least 3 points, we'll go onto this new format anyway. We'll be the worst ever. So like we need to get a win. Just get 1 win somewhere. 3 draws, whatever it is. Just fucking get it, you know. But it has been poor in Europe. But I think if we're being honest, like those teams, the teams we played, especially the first 3 games, Scotty, like. And Baz as well, they were teams we'd have been licking our lips at and going here. And then, you know, brought Roma at the Ibrox. You wouldn't have been scared. You'd have been pumped for that match. You'd have been going, fuck, we'll give them some. They'll know. All right, they might win. We'll see what happens. But they'll know coming out of that they were in a game today. And it's not being that way. So it's very damp squib. And I thought, as I say, the Roma manager could have put on his pipe and slippers at half time and just went, because it seemed as if they were like, right, no injuries now, lads. Just play it out, you know. But I'm glad to see at least Danny Rose go, you know, and all right, the European performance, and nobody's giving him too much stick for that, for being honest, because I think we're being honest. We know what he's got here, and it's not great. But at least he's worked out the Scottish League so far anyway, and seen as a basis and how to win there. That's the most important. But we definitely need to get a result somewhere. I think the next one for us is Braga, isn't it? In Europe, Braga's the next game. And then Luda or Furnace Varos away in Budapest. So you don't want to be having to go there and getting your win either, you know. But would have got the likes of Braga, wouldn't have been panicking. But now you're sort of going, fuck me. You know, we could take another pump in there, you know. But we're sort of coming towards the end of the show anyway here. Scotty, it's been absolutely amazing to have you on, buddy. Do you want to let everyone know? I'm sure most everyone here knows who you are. Anyone probably following you, but anyone that isn't, mate, if any off chance you want to let them know what you're all about and how to follow you and stuff.
You'll get us on Twitter, all our socials over on Facebook, etc. as well. YouTube's probably our main kind of income-based platform, I would say. We do about 5 pods a week, and then we've got 3 members pods added on top of that. We're trying to build a wee bit more. But we do an awful lot of stuff. We do tactic stuff, scouting stuff. The tactic stuff, we've got a low down on all the opposition that Doug does. Doug's absolutely amazing for us. I can't praise that big guy enough. Like, he preps all our slides and goes into some insane amount of detail with that. We recently purchased Y Scout too, so that's gave us another wee boost in the right direction in terms of where I'm wanting to take it. But it's exciting times ahead, but it's good to be able to finally come on with you boys and have a chat and a vape, no?
I know we're getting slagged for vaping in the comments, sir. But as I said, it's great to have Scotty on, isn't it? I mean, that's what Hands Across the Water is all about. We're well named, but it's about having like Scotty on from different. And we'd always be happy to go on to Scotty's as well and help if we're needed. And that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Absolutely. Billy's been on, Jack's been on, now Scotty's been on. You know, 3 brilliant guys. You know, you've got the same mindset as us. You just want to talk about Rangers and you want to engage with the viewers, because that's very important, Scotty, isn't it? It's engaging with the people that's commenting, because that's what gives you the feed. That's what supports your network. I mean, I've been keeping a close eye on you guys, and I actually said this to you, William, didn't I, about a month ago? I says Rangers Journal is really up their game, big time. You know, the content you produce now is fantastic. We find it a bit of a struggle. There's only me and William. We have a couple of guys in the background who don't come onto the podcast, but they do a lot of our media work and a lot of our different types of work. So our main aim is to try and recruit like yous over here. It's a bit harder. Some of the guys, they don't want to go on camera over here. You know, it's a unique country that way, you know, Scotty. So, but what you do is fantastic. I enjoy watching your show. Sometimes I don't comment. I just sit and watch it. Let the boys tear away, you know. But fair play to you, mate, and hopefully that takes you even to the bigger heights, mate. Great job.
Oh, definitely. We'll get you on. We'll get something arranged this week. Thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure coming on and having a chat with you lads.
You're welcome, mate. And as everyone, thank you for watching. As I say, we'll be on again soon, and it's just good to be able to chat about a win. We could have went on about the Romans. Say, well, we're on since we played Rome. We could have went on about that for ages, but we wanted to be positive, because it's very rare we can come on and just be positive and just chatting about a Rangers victory. So thank you everyone for, as I say, who's commented and who's been members. There's a few has been members when we weren't on live. I want to thank you as well who did. As I say, I'll do a wee thing and draw it up for everyone that has signed up as a membership, and we'll get that up, so we'll have a shout out for you all as well. But really appreciate it, and appreciate Scotty for coming on. Baz, we'll speak to you and chat to you through the week as always, buddy, and we'll be back with everyone again very soon, chatting about the famous Glasgow Rangers. See you later all.